HMS Power and those HMS cars 1 through 4. Great way to start the season. We're very excited to have Ally on board, and hopefully we can go a little bit quicker here and get on that front row.
Yeah, stout indeed, guys.
All 3 makes, 4 teams represented in the second and final round. What do you think, Larry? Is this going to be faster?
Well, William Byron said it, and here's the reason I believe that. You want everything as warm as possible on that race car except for the water. That's why they allow them to cool it down. But any heat in the hubs, the transmission, the differential, that's going to help drag on those components. It's going to make it faster. Now, who has the biggest advantage with that? Martin Truex Jr. He just ran, and he's going to go halfway through this second round. I don't see an advantage within any of the Hendrick cars to each other because they all went within 6 cars of one another, so they all about have the same amount of cool-down time on their cars.
Well, I know Gerald and Jeff have a preference. They both think flames are faster. We're going to find out shortly. Who sits on the front row for the 500?
I'm going to open up 2 beers.
Okay.
You tell me which sounds more refreshing.
Gotcha.
This one? Or this one?
Bush. Definitely the one that went Bush. What beer is that?
Are you being serious?
Yes.
It's Bush.
Right.
Bush. When my occasional constipation is under control, I can get back to what really matters.
Dulcolax provides dependable, effective relief. Dulcolax tablets for overnight relief, suppositories for relief in minutes, and stool softener for comfortable relief. Dulcolax puts you comfortably in control.
Happy birthday! Let's blow the candles together.
Okay, let's huff and puff.
Like you do sometimes, Grandpa?
Well, when you have COPD, it can be hard to breathe. So my doctor said
Symbicort can help you breathe better, starting within 5 minutes. It doesn't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden symptoms. Symbicort helps provide significant improvement of your lung function. Symbicort is for COPD, including chronic bronchitis and emphysema. It should not be taken more than twice a day. It may increase your risk of lung infections, osteoporosis, and some eye problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it.
Symbicort could mean a day with better breathing.
Watch out, piggies!
Ask your doctor if Symbicort is right for you. If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
Okay, look. If you're not the lead dog, the scenery never changes. That's why this is the view for every other full-size pickup. And this year, it's deja vu all over again. Because only the Ford F-150 with its high-strength, military-grade aluminum alloy body gives you best-in-class torque, best-in-class payload, and you got it, baby, best-in-class towing. Still leading the pack. This is the big dog. This is the Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, pal. It is the bar.
From the South Georgia plains to the North Georgia mountains and everywhere in between. Once a year, the young and the old descend on our NASCAR race weekend at Atlanta Motor Speedway, building new traditions and rekindling old ones as a new season springs to life. Racing runs deep into the heart of Georgia for the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 weekend, February 22nd through 24th. Experience the thrills for just $49. Visit AtlantaMotorspeedway.com.
Daytona 500 pole qualifying is sponsored by the Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar. And by Credit One Bank, the credit card perfect for everyday purchases. How about some Daytona 500 fast facts? Lee Petty won the first Daytona 500 in 1959. It took 3 days to determine who was ahead at the finish line.
That's Squirrel Sr., by the way.
His son Richard has won the most Daytona 500s, while Dave Marcus has the most starts in the Great American Race. This race knows no boundaries when it comes to age if you want to get to victory lane. 2 sitting presidents have been grand marshals, Reagan and Bush. 8 Pro Football Hall of Famers have waved the green flag. Today it's all about the front row. 16 of 60 Daytona 500s have been won from a front row starting spot. That's how important today is. Matt.
Mike Toyota's never scored the pole for the Daytona 500. Martin Truex Jr., you're actually ahead of the curve of where you guys usually are. You've got to be thrilled.
Yeah, I think we're happy with where we're at. You know, we showed some pretty good speed yesterday. It maybe surprised us a little bit. We typically are, somewhere in the 10th to 15th, 17th range when it comes to qualifying with this package. So hats off to the guys back at the shop and Cole and all these guys here for doing a great job. And we'll see if we can tweak on it a little bit, maybe get a few more spots here.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
12 drivers. There's Cole Pern, his crew chief. Spent a week skiing in Japan, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, not long ago. Think about Cole Pern, what kind of a move he had to make. He had to take his whole family from Colorado when he was working for Barney Visser and that Furniture Row team back to North Carolina to basically come on board Joe Gibbs Racing with Martin Truex Jr.
So in round 2, we have those Toyotas, 2 of them from Joe Gibbs Racing. We have Fords from Stuart Haas, Team Penske, and the Wood Brothers. We have 2 Richard Childress Chevrolets, 4 Rick Hendrick Chevrolets. Going to put you on the spot. Who do you like?
I like the 24 car. I love Chad. I mean, I've worked with Chad. I know him personally. I know how committed he is. I know how devoted he is, and I know how hard he works. I'd like to see that 24 win the pole. Of the cars that you mentioned.
Well, the last 2 drivers to sit on the pole for this race in the 24, Chase Elliott and Jeff, were those drivers. Can anybody beat the 24?
Well, it's hard to go against Alan Gustafson, which was the common denominator on the 24s when I drove it and Chase Elliott drove it. But, I mean, nobody's going to beat Hendrick Motorsports from what I'm seeing. I mean, they just seem to have a good gap all the way back to, I believe, Joey Logano. So it's going to be determined by them. I got to be honest, I think Greg Ives and Alex Bowman are going to repeat what they did last year and be on the pole for the Daytona 500.
I like Flames.
There's Alan Gustafson getting ready to roll. Now here's how the field is set. Today we set the front row, and we've already locked 2 of the open cars, Tyler Reddick and Casey Mears, into the 500. On Thursday, the dual races, which will be live on FS1, will determine the starting positions and which 2 drivers go home. Vince?
Last season's series champion, Joey Logano, 5th fastest in the first round. Anything for that Hendrick contingent up front here in the second round?
There's only so much you can change between the first round and the second round.
So it's all on you then, evidently.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I hope it's not. We're in real big trouble if it's that way. But no, we'll just have to wait and see. I don't know if we're going to have as much as what those Hendrick cars had, but we can give it our best shot, and we'll see what happens. So, the good thing is that, for the first time out with the Mustang, I feel like we came out of the gates with something pretty strong, and our Clash car drove good in the draft, so the handling piece is there as well. So as long as I got that, that's the most important piece, so I can make some big moves in the draft later.
And we'll look forward to seeing that. Joey?
Thanks, Vince. Both of you have driven for Rick Hendrick. Why is winning the Daytona 500 pole so important to Mr. H?
Well, it's the most prestigious race, most prestigious pole. But I think you got to go back to the history of when Rick Hendrick got into racing. It was all about big horsepower underneath the hood. And his engine program, although we talk a lot about Yates, Roush, and how good they are, I think Hendrick Motorsports engines takes a lot of pride and puts a lot of energy into making a lot of horsepower to come down here and win this pole.
I think the other thing too, and you look at Rick Hendrick there talking to Chad Knaus, this is what we always considered home. This was the home of NASCAR. This is the biggest race we run. When you win the pole today, you're on the pole for a whole week. And I don't know what they do now. I don't know if they go to New York. I don't know if you get to talk shows or all that stuff, but that used to be part of winning a pole here.
Well, one of these 12 drivers will win the pole. Another will start outside the front row for the Daytona 500. And Paul Menard from Eau Claire, Wisconsin, racing for the Wood Brothers, a team that lost their patriarch, 93-year-old Glenn Wood, passed recently. He had come to Daytona and participated in 70 consecutive Daytona Speed Weeks. And here is the fabled number 21, a number and paint scheme and team that have gone to victory lane 5 times in the 500.
Talked to Leonard Wood over at the Hall of Fame. Leonard Wood still looks like he could be the crew chief on that 21 car. He hadn't changed very much, and still as sharp as an attack.
And Darrell, if I had to guess, he still puts his hands on this car somewhere, some way before it gets to Daytona.
He is our sports Thomas Edison. He's a tinkerer, an inventor. So what are you working on? He said, self-propelled lawnmower. I can sit in the living room and it'll mow about an acre from about that far away, and I just run it from the living room.
And an incredible craftsman.
Yeah.
Yep.
He had the best idling car in the garage, and we used to kid him about that. He said if it won't idle, it won't run.
Well, that's true. Second year with Wood Brothers Racing for Paul Menard. Last year, he started 16th in the 500, finished 6th.
And, you know, I never got a chance to drive for the Wood brothers, but I know Paul Menard knows the history of NASCAR and this race team and takes a lot of pride in driving this car in the Daytona 500.
Yep.
Now, all of the drivers in this second round are locked into the 500. The front row will be set today. Everyone else's starting spots will be determined by where they finish in the dual races on Thursday.
Little surprised there by that lap by Paul Menard. Actually, a couple hundredths slower than his round 1 time.
Denny Hamlin for Joe Gibbs Racing went winless last season for the first time in much of his career, looking to rebound.
And Mike, to me, he's putting a lot of wheel. He's turning the wheel a lot, which to me would indicate the car might be a little tight, which might hurt the performance of it just a little bit.
Mike, you said rebound, and I would say refocus as well, Denny Hamlin for 2019 to get back into victory lane.
He won the 500 in 2016 with crew chief Mike Wheeler. Started second, finished third last year. But Chris Gabehart is the new crew chief for Hamlin.
And I just wonder how much these Gibbs teams and Toyotas, how much effort they put into qualifying versus those duels in the race on next Sunday.
Second, 47.24, and that's a drop off of a quarter of a second from his first round time.
Yeah, I don't. To me, I don't know what steering box they got in the car. I couldn't tell you. Well, this car is skewed a little bit. Did you notice that, Jeff?
Well, we've been waiting to see this happen, right? If you go back to a year ago and how the rules were a little bit different, how these teams were able to skew the back of the cars, get that rear spoiler out of the air, a little less drag. Seen a little bit of rain on the windshield right here for Austin Dillon. But this year, we're not seeing as much of that, but you're right, Daryl. I saw a little bit of that coming down the front straightaway on this 3 of Austin Dillon.
Heard a good bit of scraping underneath as that car came off the corner.
Drag racing down the back straightaway here with that 21 car.
I think he's winning the drag race going into turn 3.
Pole sitter in 2014. Winner last year in the 500.
Starting to inch away ever so slightly.
Dillon coming to the stripe.
Not a bad lap.
And he takes the top spot from Paul Menard, although his lap is almost a tenth of a second slower.
Surprising.
Than round 1.
Yep.
Sprinkles you saw in turns 1 and 2. NASCAR is going to wait a bit before they send the next car. Or are they? Nope. After Daniel Hemrick, we're going to have a hold. This is the team car to Austin Dillon, and you can see the problem we have telling the two apart, especially head on.
Now, if I had to guess, NASCAR has maybe seen something pop up on the radar that's heading towards turns 1 and 2, so they feel like they can get through this next car of Hemrick.
Hemrick from the great racing town of Kannapolis, North Carolina, home of Dale Earnhardt, the Earnhardt family. He won a Legends car race on the little quarter mile at Charlotte Motor Speedway with a total purse of $1 million. He got a quarter of that, and it propelled his career. Luke Lambert is his crew chief this year as he moves up to the Cup Series, and he's running for the pole for the Daytona 500.
Nice pickup.
I say. Pretty impressive.
46.76. He is the first round 2 driver to run faster than he did in round 1.
And that's what I expect. If you're going to go and be in the top 5 or maybe even compete for this front row, you're going to have to pick up from that first round time. There's our challenge.
Fraternal twins, let's say.
Look at those numbers. I mean, they're almost identical.
So the Chevys of Hemrick and Dillon ahead of the Ford of Menard and the Toyota of Hamlin. Clint Boyer, everybody's favorite post-race interview. Driver from Emporia, Kansas. This will be his 3rd season with Stewart-Haas Racing. In last year's 500, he started 10th, finished 15th. It'll be his 14th try at the Great American Race, now running for Gene Haas and Tony Stewart.
I don't know about you. I think you guys sort of feel the same. But one of the highlights that I saw out of 2018 was when he won at Martinsville in that victory celebration, and the genuine joy that he and his family and that team experienced in victory lane.
Yeah, what was so cool was when Chase ran to his dad down the front straightaway there at Martinsville. I just thought that Cash, I'm sorry.
Cash.
Ran to his dad and just what a thrill that was to have your, you know what it's like to have your kids there when you win, buddy.
And guys, he's the only Stewart-Haas Racing Ford driver to advance to the second round, which just tells me that Michael Bugger-Ravitch, his crew chief, that they've elected to put a little more speed in that car and maybe sacrifice a little handling on Thursday night in the duel.
Boy, right on top of Daniel Hemrick. About a foot difference between the two of them.
I was going to say it, just a fender behind him.
That'd be about a half a hundredth right there.
Can't get quite in front of that 8 car. Close.
Boyer's best start in the 500 is 6th. Second, 46.80. Even though he's half a tenth of a second faster than round 1, he is second fastest. We're going to show you Daniel Suarez coming off pit road from our Truex, excuse me, from our onboard camera, Martin Truex.
You watch his
eyes. Yes, watch his eyes.
He's watching the tack when he hits that magic number.
He just went second to third gear. As he starts getting closer to that RPM for fourth, see him look down. Those moments right there for a driver are the most crucial moments. The engine builders want you to nail that RPM within 20 RPM. You know how hard that is to do. That's very difficult. Takes a lot of focus.
One thing I noticed, I never saw him blink. Eyes wide open.
He's got to keep his eye on that tack.
He's certainly not going to blink right now with those sprinkles of water from the rain on his windshield.
Martin Truex versus Daniel Hemrick. Second by 2/100ths of a second.
Man, that was so close.
And he was 2/100ths better than round 1. So it's Chevy, Toyota, Ford in the first 3 spots. We're halfway through the final round of qualifying. To set the front row for the 500, Brad Keselowski. 6 wins on restrictor plate tracks. That leads all active drivers here, but he's not won the Daytona 500. He's finished 3rd and 4th with a best start of 7th. All for Team Penske.
These Penske boys have had some pretty darn good race cars the last couple of years at restrictor plate tracks.
His owner, Roger Penske, just inducted into NASCAR's Hall of Fame at the start of this month.
Oh, Hemrick's just not going to give up that lead, boys. He is fighting them off left and right.
I think this definitely shows the type of lap, though, that Daniel Hemrick put together and that RCR crew. That's a nice pickup. These cars going after him that were faster in round 1, not able to compete with him so far.
4th for Keselowski, 46.81. That is just 1.5/100ths of a second slower than round 1. And here is his teammate, Middletown, Connecticut's Joey Logano. The defending Cup Series champion, Michelle Pennzoil Ford Mustang for Team Penske. 3 times he started 5th in the 500. He won it in 2015. This will be his 7th 500 for Team Penske and his 7th with crew chief Todd Gordon.
I'll tell you, doesn't that look not like he's just kind of on a Sunday drive? Trust me, he's not.
You can see him looking down and see his eyes. He's just trying to gauge what kind of RPM is he turning, what kind of lap does he have going right now compared to that round 1 lap.
Uh-oh, he's
so
gaining a little bit, but I don't know if he's going to be able to pull up there. He's trying.
I think he's going to get ahead of Hemrick. This car goes down the straightaways.
He's got 1,600 feet to do it. Here he comes.
I think he's going to do it.
Logano, second by 3/1000ths of a second.
I'm telling you, that Hemrick is putting up a heck of a fight, boys.
And right now, the Hendrick drivers are saying, okay, guys, all we got to do is run what we ran in round 1.
Right.
And we're going to be competing against ourselves.
I don't know which car it'll be, the Hendrick car. One of them are going to run in a 40s, I'd say.
Can Jimmy Johnson,
46-40.
For Rick Hendrick, trying to run his 18th Daytona 500, knock off Daniel Hemrick from the top spot, trying to run his first.
Now, we saw where Jimmy Johnson was about 0.2 of a second off of his teammates. They were all in the 46-40s. He ran a 46-60 in round 1. So I think they need a pretty decent amount of pickup compared to what they ran in round one to compete with his teammates.
Well, he just left the 08 car in the dust.
Johnson knows what it's like to win the Daytona 500 pole as a rookie. He did it in the 48 for Rick Hendrick back in 2002.
That's a good lap. I don't know if it's good enough, but that's a pretty good lap.
46-43. That's 0.2 faster than round one. It puts Jimmie Johnson Chevrolet on top of the board.
And I think that's exactly the lap that they needed to run. Now, how much did these other 300 Chevrolets get out of it that round one? Did they leave anything out there that they can get a little bit extra speed out of it? We're going to find out.
He got 2/10. They'll get 2/10.
Chase Elliott, the most recent.
So far, Chase Elliott's not.
Of 6 drivers to win the Daytona 500 pole as a rookie.
Here he comes.
This will be his 4th 500. He's looking for his 3rd pole in the Great American Race.
You know, when you're looking at hundredths of a second between what could be the pole or second or even not making the front row, that launch off pit road becomes critical. We saw where Martin Truex Jr. hitting those RPMs perfectly in the shift, but you also have to launch off a pit road perfectly if you're going to win this pole today.
He's also won his dual race the last 2 years.
Jimmy's coming back.
No. 6/1,000 slower than Jimmie Johnson.
43 to a 44.
Larry, you wonder if putting your hand up in that opening in the window is worth anything. Is it worth 6/1,000s?
It's not going to hurt. Right. I can promise you that. It's not going to hurt. But I'm going to tell you what, that is a big deal, that 48 car, Jimmie Johnson picking up 2/10. You and I talked about needed to pick up something. That is a big pickup.
And what did he say when we interviewed him, Larry? Something about maybe the car was dragging a little bit too much?
Maybe bottoming out just a little bit, but maybe that, you can raise it up a little bit.
Or can you put some more air pressure in those tires, try to get it up off the racetrack?
There's things you can do to get it up off the track.
I don't know what you can do, but that 24 is doing it. He's going somewhere now.
From the elder statesman of Hendrick Motorsports to their youngest driver, 21-year-old William Byron, last year's Rookie of the Year. He gets rid of the rookie stripe. This will be his 2nd Daytona 500. And where will he start?
Well, he'll be on the pole.
Well, he's certainly going to be on the front row.
He'll be on the front row. That's going to be it.
Flames are fast.
What a lap.
46-31.
Are you kidding me?
That is 11/100ths faster than his first round lap.
Now that's a heck of a pickup right there. The pressure just squarely put on Alex Bowman and everything he does launching and through the corners, and Greg Ives is the crew chief of this 88 Nationwide Chevy.
Remember when I said a little bit ago it'd be funny if the 24 and the 48 were on the front row? Well, right now they are.
Alex Bowman, 25 years old. It'll be his 3rd Daytona 500. Started pole, finished 17th last year in this number 88.
24's got a little smoke down the back straightaway there.
Gaining on him.
They're side by side.
Goes green on our tracker.
2 cars as one right there.
It's going to be all about how he gets off this corner and unwinds that steering wheel to get that car straight as soon as possible. But I don't know
I think
if
the
he
24
can
is
gain
hold
that
him
much.
Advantage Byron off turn number 4.
Still think it's going to be a 1-2 though, right here at 24.88.
Rick Hendrick has the 4 fastest cars in the Daytona 500. Byron, Bowman, Johnson, and Elliott.
Hey, look at him. Is he strutting or what?
Well, he should be.
Look at him. That's a great job, buddy. Way to go. Nice job there, Mr. Rick.
First career pole for William Byron in his 37th Cup start. He becomes the 2nd youngest pole winner for the 500 behind Chase Elliott, and the 42nd different driver to win the pole for the Daytona 500.
What a great accomplishment for that young man, and what a great way for this duo to start off their
Byron,
2019 season.
William becomes the 9th different driver to win one of the 20 pole positions that Rick Hendrick has enjoyed at Daytona International Speedway.
Now we know they've finished 1, 2, 3 in the Daytona 500, but have they ever gone 1, 2, 3, 4 in qualifying for the Daytona 500?
I don't recall.
Hendrick has won the pole for the last 5 500s. That's a record. 8 of the last 12, and 36% of the Daytona 500s that Hendrick Motorsports has competed in His dad, Bill, is an investment banker in Charlotte. William Byron, you know where he'll be tomorrow? Back in class at Liberty University. But this is his day. Matt?
Mike, history-making day for William Byron. Really both ends of the spectrum. His first career Cup pole and also the 700th Cup pole for Chevrolet. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's awesome. Obviously for Chevrolet, Exalted Chevy was really fast. Credit to Chad and all the guys. It's been a great off season, so we're prepared, we're ready. This is kind of the first step of our process together, so hopefully it goes well. Next Sunday we can kind of chill out throughout the thanks man, appreciate it. Awesome. We can kind of hang out throughout the dual races and learn a little bit, so looking forward to it. It's awesome.
You looked at the Dartfish, you said you felt like there were a couple of different areas that you could have improved on in the final round.
Yeah, we just kind of we lacked a little bit getting up to speed. I think a little bit too much wheel spin. So this thing's fast. It's obviously a lot of credit to the guys. So looking forward to next Sunday.
Think about just a couple of years ago, you hadn't even driven a race car, and then just a few years later, you're on pole for the biggest race.
Yeah, it's pretty special. Definitely a huge blessing. So looking forward to it. Thank you. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Great young man and a wonderful story that you'll hear more about in the week to come as we lead up to the Daytona 500. Hopped in a race car for the first time at about age 15, and that's old.
And that wasn't long ago.
That's right. William Byron wins the pole for the 500.
It's really simple. People count on you, and you count on your truck. So we built you the most capable line of Ram heavy-duty trucks yet. The Ram 2500 has best-in-class gas towing, and the Ram 3500 gives you best-in-class fifth-wheel towing and the best resale value. Ram, the longest-lasting heavy-duty pickups.
Now get an average $9,442 in total values on the 2018 Ram 2500 with a Cummins diesel engine.
Dragons have invaded Dave & Buster's, and only you can save the day. Play the all-new Dragon Frost virtual reality game to save the kingdom. Only at Dave & Buster's.
In 1979, Jiffy Lube changed everything by providing the first convenient oil change service.
Seriously?
4 decades later, Jiffy is changing everything again, offering services that are fast and convenient using manufacturer recommendations. Jiffy Lube, you can do more in a jiffy.
Now this is Daddy's favorite song.
Alexa, play Dad's playlist.
Carl, I didn't know we were having dinner tonight.
You are.
Dandruff. Carl and I go everywhere together.
Keep dandruff from ruining date night.
Carl, how could you?
Selsun Blue helps eliminate annoying itch and flakes.
Here we go. It's my turn to make history. Start your engine!
Daytona 500. Coverage begins next Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
This March, buckle up for 12 simple questions.
Let's do it.
In 5 minutes.
Who is married to Daniel Craig?
Oh, I don't pay attention to straight relationships.
Mental Samurai premieres March 5th on Fox.
Our final 6 celebs fight for their spot in the semifinal. Who goes home?
Wow!
The Masked Singer, all new, Wednesday on Fox.
Rick Hendrick has a lot to smile about. His drivers have swept the 4 fastest qualifying positions for the 500, the first 2 of which lock in today. William Byron and last year's pole sitter Alex Bowman will start the Daytona 500 from the front row. Here's Vince.
About 0.03 of a second difference for Alex Bowman going back to back of the pole, but still starting on the front row. Anything at all that you could have done that would have made you that time up?
maybe a good gust of wind. I don't know. William picked up like a 10.5 there, so he must have got a little gust of wind or something. But just really proud of everybody at Hendrick Motorsports. To be 1, 2, 3, 4 is really cool. Mr. H is here. He missed last year, so it's really neat. Just so cool to be a part of. You know, it's an honor to get to drive such a fast race car, and proud of all my Nationwide 88 guys.
What kind of confidence does this give you, knowing you guys have this type of raw speed in relation to going in race trim to win the Daytona 500?
Yeah, you know, last year we were really aggressive in qualifying trim, and you know, couldn't really race the duel and didn't know what to expect for the 500, but raced pretty strong in the 500. This car, I feel like, has a lot more qualifying speed in it, or a lot more handling in it, and not as much qualifying speed. So I think I'm more confident than I was last year, which is good. And I'm ready to race the Clash and the duel and just get some reps and learn what I can, and should be good.
Yeah, we'll look forward to that Clash coming up in just a little bit. Nice job, Alex.
Well, Vince, Chad Knaus knows all about making memories, and he certainly has made many throughout your career. Your old driver, Jimmy Johnson, walked up, extended his hand, and what did he tell you?
He said, "You got me my first pole, then you got William his first pole." He said, "That's pretty cool." So, yeah, man, that's fantastic. I couldn't be prouder of everybody on the 24 team, and honestly, everybody at Hendrick Motorsports. A lot of effort went into all 4 of those cars. So to come down here, qualify on the pole with these guys, a new team with a new driver, you know, representing Exalta and the 24 car has been a lot of fun.
You went over and you jumped up on the wall and you wanted to take a picture of the scoreboard because at Hendrick Motorsports, there's no I in team. It's basically 4 cars in 1 team.
Yeah, it's such a huge accomplishment. We've got a small little military group of guys that really work hard on our super speedway program. Steve Berg, Corey Williams, Wayne Lehman, all these guys, they really put a lot of effort into them, and there's many others obviously as well, but man, they work really hard over the off season. To be able to see those cars 1, 2, 3, 4 on the front row, or in the first 2 rows like that, is just, it's awesome, man. It's a cool photograph. My alarm's going off. I got to pick pits here in a second. Sorry. But yeah, it's really great. I'm enjoying working with William and the guys. Really neat to come down here and be able to perform like that for Exalta and everybody at HMS.
All right, congrats, bud.
Thanks, guys.
Mike?
What a team photo. 4 fastest and big grins all the way around. Much more to come from Daytona. Stay with us.
Toyota, let's go places.
The most anticipated moment in racing.
The world is revolving around what's going on right there.
You're the man! And it's the history of our sport. From racing on the beach to this place they got now.
The place is just magical.
You win a race here, it's heard all around the world.
The final 20 laps, I mean, it is just all hell breaks loose.
They're side by side, right to the line.
Contact!
And there's a fight.
Whoa! Slam into the wall.
Oh my goodness.
It's the great American race.
Our ancestors ate tree bark for sustenance. Now we have the juicy thick burger. It's made with fire and 100% Black Angus beef. It's the future. Try our delicious new grilled cheese bacon thick burger. Hardee's because it tastes better.
I need gas, gotta make it fast. I'll grab a bite here to save time. What do I want? Ooh, haven't had one of those in a while. Why, yes, I do want cheese with that. So many choices. What to drink? Iced tea, green tea, lemonade. Rutter's chocolate milk. Did not know they had this. Nice. Whoa, it's already cold? Well, that was fast. Can't forget this. I'm gonna be on time. I got it going on today.
Rutter's, why go anywhere else?
Show me the crown. Show me homecoming. Baby sloth videos on YouTube.
Amy, do you mind giving someone else a turn?
Oh, yeah, I've made myself a little comfortable here.
I got a pizza for Amy.
Yes, that's me.
Xfinity lets you search Netflix, Prime Video, and YouTube with the sound of your voice.
And I don't have my wallet, so...
That's simple, easy, awesome. Get started with Xfinity Internet, TV, and voice for $79.99 a month for 2 years. Plus, ask about 4K Ultra HD. Click, call, or visit a store today.
Our ancestors ate tree bark for sustenance. Now we have the juicy thick burger. It's made with fire and 100% Black Angus beef. It's the future. Try our delicious new grilled cheese bacon thick burger. Hardee's, because it tastes better.
Stay weather smart with the Fox 43 News weather team.
Welcome back to Daytona, where Rick Hendrick and his drivers are celebrating the 700th pole in the NASCAR Cup Series for Chevrolet. Here's what race number 1 in the duel will look like on Thursday. All the odd-numbered timed positions from today will be in duel number 1.
And Mike, it always seems one race is harder than the other. That's a heck of a lineup of cars right there in that very first race.
And a lot of credit to Daniel Hemrick rounding out top 5 for Chevrolet.
Yeah, great job. And there's, Ryan Blaney. We know he's pretty good. Kurt in his new car. There's some good cars in that race, in that first dual race.
Ryan Truex going to have to race his way in to the 500.
Darryl, I've never seen an easy duel.
Well, it seemed like you watched the first one. It'll be a while in the grading, and then the second one's not so much.
Now here's duel 2, and these will decide the starting positions for next Sunday's 500. In this race, Brendan Gaughan, Parker Kligerman, Joey Gase are trying to race their way in to the 500.
Great job by Tyler Reddick.
There's some guys. Stenhouse been pretty good down here. So is Kyle Larson. There's some good cars in that race, but not like that first one.
You brought up Larson. I'm going to bring up Stenhouse. I think both of those guys are going to be coming to the front in that duel.
And let's join Matt.
Mike, the one constant in recent years when we come to the beach, that the Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolets will be up at the front, showcasing a lot of speed. And Rick Hendrick, you just kept saying to me, I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
You work all these years coming down here, and you want all the cars to run well, and if you have one up front, a couple in the back, in the middle. But a tribute to our organization, the engine shop, the chassis body shop, and the teams, to come down here and run with 4 cars running that good. So can't believe it. Congratulations to Chevy for their 700th pole and our 5th in a row down here. And before I forget, I want to say hello to my wife, Linda. She fractured her leg. She's back home, and love you, baby. Wish you were here. But, I'm so happy for William, for all our guys, for Alex on the outside, and, Exalta, all the sponsors. This is Allies' first race, so, we're just pumped. This is a good way to start the year.
And no one bleeds Bowtie Red more than you. 700 poles in Cup, and you were the man who got them 700.
Well, Chevrolet's been awful good to me. That was my first dealership. That's all I've ever raced. That's all my dad ever raced. At that Bowtie, we were Bowtie proud, thinking about Jim Perkins today. And, man, what a great day for Chevrolet, our organization, and these drivers. Really proud.
Congratulations. Vince?
Chase Elliott's a 2-time Daytona 500 pole winner, but a little bit short today. Ended up fourth out of 4 on your teammates. You going to have to take any grief from those other guys about that?
No, that's okay. We'll been lucky enough to do it a couple times, but next Sunday's the big prize, and that's the one we're missing. So I have a fast Napa Camaro down here again, which is always encouraging. Great way to start off the week and look forward to the duels on Thursday, and certainly the big race on Sunday. But congrats to William and Chad and 24 team. The Hendrick engine department obviously is some of the best you could ever ask for in that group, so appreciate them, and happy for Chevrolet. 700 poles, I mean, my goodness. So they've been a great partner of mine, and I've got to know those guys quite well over the past few years, and great to be with them, and look forward to hopefully a great season.
As a 2-time Daytona 500 pole winner, can you just put in perspective the prestige and what that means to a young driver's career?
Well, I think it means more to the teams that are involved. Obviously we're all on one team together, but at the same time we're we have our each individual teams, and we have our each individual groups that we see every week, and I think it's really a testament to them and the work they put in here at the track, and also the guys back at the shop that work really hard on the bodies and, again, the engines and the things that matter down here. So appreciate their efforts, and I look forward to Thursday and getting the year started off.
Yeah, thanks, Chase. Well done. Chase Elliott 4th today in qualifying.
Thank you, Vince. They're turning over the stage and getting ready for the Clash, but we have more to bring you from Daytona after this.
Hi guys, this is the Chevy Equinox. Beautiful. Wow. It offers a lot of great technology inside.
Ooh, this is fancy.
That's the available HD surround vision camera.
The top of your car?
Mm-hmm. It helps you see dangers around the vehicle.
What is that?
What? Wait, what is that?
Oh my God.
What is happening?
These are big alligators.
Now we're surrounded.
So who's getting out first?
I don't know, but we're keeping this camera on.
Pain wants to stop you, block you, like that's gonna happen. Icy hot. Icy to dull, hot to relax. Rise from pain. Icy hot.
At Outback, your steak and lobster wish is our command. Steak and lobster is back by popular demand, starting at only $15.99. Hurry into Outback. Steak and lobster is only here for a limited time.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Ronnie, how happy are folks who save hundreds of dollars switching to Geico? I'd say happier than a camel on Wednesday.
Hump day!
Get happy. Get Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
I'm so frustrated. I just want to find a used car without getting ripped off.
You could start your search at theallnewcarfax.com.
That might help. Show me the Carfax.
Now the car you want and the history you need are easy to find.
Show me used trucks with great deals.
Pretty cool.
Show me the Carfax.
Start your used car search and get free Carfax reports at theallnewcarfax.com.
Family taco night is a heartburn night you can plan for, but surprise pizza at the office means heartburn you didn't expect. Zantac works when you need it. It relieves or prevents heartburn in as little as 30 minutes and lasts up to 12 hours. Zantac. Eat your way, treat your way.
Daytona 500 pole qualifying is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Welcome back to Daytona, where Hendrick Motorsports has swept the front row for the Daytona 500 with the 4 fastest qualifying positions led by William Byron. We'll have more interviews from here in Daytona in just a bit, but let's check in with the Fox Sports studio. Here's Adam Alexander.
Thank you, Mike. I'm here with Shannon Spake, two-time Daytona 500 champion Michael Waltrip and Regan Smith. And how about this? William Byron goes out and wins the pole at age 21, first of his career. What a start to Speed Weeks, Michael.
You know, it's a lot of responsibility, Regan, when you get handed a fast car like William had. He won that pole by less than half of a tenth of a second. That means the launch off pit road had to be perfect. We heard Darrell talking earlier about the line around the racetrack. I'm telling you, folks, if you go down the corner and you give it that, you don't get that pole. That's a lot of pressure. 500 people working on your car back in North Carolina. You want to make sure you do your job, and William Byron did it right.
What was the margin again?
3/100ths of a second.
Because I think Chad Knaus's chest was a little bit more puffed up with that 3/100ths of a second. It was a good job for that team. Okay, so next Sunday is going to be very exciting for William Byron, right? He's starting on the front row, but he has to, or the pole, but he has to get through Thursday. He has to get through the duels. What do you do? How do you approach that when you have the car that's going to start on the pole?
Well, I can tell you exactly what you do. That car needs to go to the back of the pack as quick as it possibly can. Maybe stay up there for a lap, half a lap, something like that, and then get out of there. You know you have a fast race car. I'm going to assume that they set that race car up strictly for qualifying, knowing that they had a good shot at the pole today. So Chad Knaus is going to tell him, hey, let's be smart here. We'll go practice on Friday. On Saturday, we'll get you some laps in. Otherwise, protect that race car.
Put in perspective the fact that you look at Hendrick Motorsports, and now 5 straight years they have won the pole for the biggest race with now 5 different drivers, Michael.
It just tells you the package they put together to come to Daytona, and Mr. Hendrick expects that. He wants that fame of being on the pole for the Daytona 500. He's got his cars on the front row.
It's a fun picture when you're between your two cars.
It's a fun picture for the next week he's going to get to enjoy, and I just appreciate the effort that they put into doing just what he did. And I'm going to be really excited to watch 4 cars from one organization start on the front row next Thursday in the duels.
And how about Chevy, too? We got to point out, Chevy, 6 of the top 10 race cars. We've all been wondering, are they going to have a better year this year than what they did last year? That's a good start.
Yeah, we talked all offseason how the merger with Chad Knaus and William Byron was going to go, and I think we can give a check in the win column for that 2014. Mike? Yeah, because obviously this was a big one for them. And the chemistry, when you talk about the chemistry for Chad Knaus and William Byron, how far does this now go getting this pole?
Well, I know he's proud of his young driver because, like I said, he had to be perfect. But what we're looking forward to is Thursday. And you talked about laying in the back, getting to the back with those cars. Man, I want to race. I never started a 150 on Thursday that I thought I was going to lose. I always thought I was going to win. I like to go. I think it's going to be interesting to see if all four of those cars go to the back or if they do indeed go hammer down.
Well, we will wait for that, but we do have the Clash to get through today. So we'll check in. We'll go back out to Daytona. Mike, you there?
Thanks, Shannon. Congratulations still all around as William Byron has won the Busch Pole for the 61st Daytona 500. Now, what do you do if you're Joey Logano and the Ford camp or Martin Truex and the Toyota camp? We'll discuss after this.
Eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking. Are we gonna do what they say can't be done? We've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. I'm eastbound, just watch old bandit run.
Whatever party you got going in the back, we got the business up front.
I'm gonna open 2 beers. Okay. You tell me what sounds more refreshing. This one? Or this one?
Busch.
Agreed. The second one. That's 2 for Busch.
KFC's got 4 ways to feed a family for just $20. It's delicious. Well, that worked out. Bring home dinner with any of KFC's $20 fill-ups.
Live from the Starlight Lounge.
1 + 1 = 2, little too late. A soccer bam boom, who's in the room? Love is dangerous, but driving safe means you pay less. Switch and save, yes man. Excuse me, miss, does this heart belong to you? Would you like it anyway?
In 1979, Jiffy Lube changed everything by providing the first convenient oil change service.
Seriously.
4 decades later, Jiffy is changing everything again, offering services that are fast and convenient using manufacturer recommendations. Jiffy Lube, you can do more in the Jiffy.
Unisom knows when you don't get enough sleep, it's hard to avoid the fog. Even the simplest things seem tough. Unisom is specially formulated to give you a good night's sleep, so you're ready to take on your day with Unisom, the sleep expert.
Here we go. It's my turn to make history. Start your engine!
Daytona 500. Coverage begins next Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
Welcome back to Daytona. Trophies, gimme hats, and pictures all around for Hendrick Motorsports. Let's take our 3 fastest cars in round 2 and use the Fox Ghost car to show you the 24 and the 88 and the 48. And just how close it was.
And look how even they were going into turn 1. Actually, William Byron, the highest of these 3 drivers as he got into turn 1. But look how he brings it down really nice off of turn 2 and starts to make that gain ahead of his teammates down this back straightaway.
You know, Mike, a lot of times you got to let your car have its head just a little bit. I think William knew if he cranked it down the middle of the corner, it was too much resistance. Put too much pressure on those front tires, slow you down a little bit. He let it roll up the hill a little bit, but then he made up the difference getting off turn 2 and down the back.
And we're talking 0.05 of a second, so every little bit of movement, how you launched off of pit road, how you change gears from first, second to third, all those things matter and will add up thousands to make up for that 500s.
That's how close it was, about half a car length had they been running side by side. But if you're Joey Logano or if you're Martin Truex, getting kind of kicked to the back of the top dozen in pole qualifying, what's that do for you?
Well, we didn't come down here to win the pole. We just came down here to race. Our cars got, our cars are going to race really good.
if you're Joey Logano.
Are you selling me?
I'm trying to make you believe that.
But I will even take it a step further. I go to the third-place runner, Jimmy Johnson. That sting is just a little bit, and I'm not talking about the Chad Knaus and William Byron. I'm talking about missing being on that front row, knowing that on Thursday you've got to go race your way in. You've got to go push hard every single lap to get the best starting position possible. I heard something out of Joey Logano, though. His car drove good for the Clash drafting session, and I'm curious to see what he does today because I think that their car is going to drive really good on Thursday all the way through Sunday.
Maneuverability. I mean, being able to make those erratic moves that you see Joey and Brad make a lot. Switching lanes quickly and the car not jumping out from under you. That's important.
And it all goes into making a car that can win the Daytona 500. Here's Matt.
Mike, youth certainly serving notice today. Starting 5th, he'll be in the first duel. Starting 3rd is Daniel Hemrick. So let's talk about just building the good momentum as you move closer and closer toward the 500.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing with this Bass Pro Shop Caterpillar Camaro Z01. It's been a ton of fun, first off, to even be down here to experience this weekend. And I was pretty blown away by the speed we had in this 8 car there. I didn't know what to expect. Never really got to make a full Q run yesterday, so I didn't know if we would be a threat for the second round or not. And we ran the lap we did. I thought, oh, how about that? So really, man, it's just, to me, it's surreal to be here. I'm just pumped to be here and know that I have the support of everybody at RCR, our 50th year together, and it's unbelievable.
It's all about building a notebook of knowledge as you look toward the Daytona 500. You're not going to be in the Clash later today. You're going to be where, trying to learn, and what are you going to try to pick up?
Yeah, hopefully this weather gets out of here and I can make my way up to the spotter stand. I think you can see a lot of different things up there. You get the other perspective of it. And when you're up there, you see guys that are incredibly good at it. I always try to watch that 2-car always makes moves that kind of blow me away. In my past as a fan watching, so go up there and pay attention to those guys. Obviously, we got Austin Dillon in the 3. My teammate, he's going to try to bring home the Clash for everyone at RCR. And real quick, I think to say thanks to ECR and everyone at Chevrolet for giving us such a great opportunity to come down here and have fun. And yeah, the Clash is going to be fun. Hopefully the fans stick it out and we can have fun watching the race.
Okay, enjoy the fun.
Oh, yeah, we'll do.
Vince?
And with his team owner, Richard Childress, pretty good day. You had Hemrick 5th, Austin Dillon 10th, and Tyler Reddick 16th.
Yeah, good day.
All of them in the show. Way to go.
Yeah, congratulations to the Hendricks cars, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're still got a little work to do to catch him, but, we're getting a little closer. I was really happy with the 8 car with Daniel Hemrick in it.
We were just chatting a moment ago about 50 years, your 50th anniversary of Richard Childress Racing. I mean, you've defied death enough times to even be it at 50 years. What's that mean to you to still be in this sport 50 years later?
It goes back to so many great people I've been associated with, great sponsors, and being blessed by the Lord to keep me alive, I think.
Great memory of the 50 years, the number one that stands out.
Man, it's hard to pick a single thing, but probably when Austin crawled out that car in that wreck would be the biggest moment that I had.
And you remember from your very first year, something from the first year you were here?
Oh, yeah. The first year we were here, we spent the night, we stayed in Nova Road Campground in a tent. So I'm thinking about maybe going back out there and staying in a tent again.
It's a little bit different, a little more comfortable 50 years later. Thank goodness.
It is, yeah, thank you.
Richard Childress, Mike.
He has several hundred employees up there in Welcome, North Carolina now, but he said when he first came to Daytona, they held the annual team meeting in the truck on the way to Daytona.
Hi guys, this is the Chevy Equinox. Beautiful.
Wow.
It offers a lot of great technology inside.
Ooh, this is fancy.
That's the available HD surround vision camera.
The top of your car?
Mm-hmm. It helps you see dangers around the vehicle.
What is that? Whoa! Wait, what is that?
Oh my God.
What's happening?
These are big alligators.
Now we're surrounded.
So who's getting out first?
I don't know, but we're keeping this camera on.
You're going to get hit a little bit, you're going to get pushed a little bit. The sparks are going to fly.
Speed Weeks continues with the Gander RV Duel at Daytona, Thursday at 7 Eastern on FS1. And don't miss the Daytona 500. Coverage begins Sunday at 1 on Fox.
Together is more little miracles. Highmark Blue Shield and Penn State Health are ensuring families have access to top pediatric care close to home. Learn more at togetherforpa.com.
Your Central Pennsylvania Honda dealers have a Honda built just for you. Like the stylish new Accord, the most impressive Honda yet. Or maybe the wildly popular CR-V is the perfect fit for your family. Your Central Pennsylvania Honda dealers have them all. Check out all the latest offers on the award-winning Accord. Or the CR-V from the best SUV brand out there. Your Honda is waiting for you at your Central Pennsylvania Honda dealers.
This is Harrisburg and Hershey, West Shore and Wyomissing, Lancaster and Lingelstown. This is hard-working people, growing families, and Friday night lights. This is hope, heart, and heroes. This is our community at its best. This is the health we need to live the way we want. This is Penn State Health. Learn more at pennstatehealth.org.
Tonight, come get your Longhorn favorites. The Outlaw Ribeye, the Parmesan-crusted chicken, the Longhorn salmon. The feeling, flavor, the place. Longhorn Steakhouse. You can't fake steak.
The day's news doesn't just take place in a day. On Fox 43 News at 10, we bring you more follow-up to the ongoing stories that happen today and carry into tomorrow. Watch Fox 43 News at 10 and expect more.
Together is just up the road. Highmark Blue Shield and Penn State Health are ensuring you have access to quality primary care close to home. Learn more at togetherforpa.com.
Youth is wasted on the young. Well, old guys do. The average age of the front row for the 500 this year, 23.
Wow.
EW, do you remember 21, 23?
Hell
Seems
no.
so long ago.
I just to put it bluntly, no.
I remember you weren't winning poles at Daytona.
No, I wasn't. I was dreaming about coming to Daytona.
Hendrick Chevrolet teammates William Byron and Alex Bowman have secured the front row. As victory celebrations there continue, you see the stage is out, set up for the Clash of 2019. That's coming along on FS1. As car owner Rick Hendrick continues the celebration, and we call this the hat dance because you got to take care of every sponsor has to have their picture, right?
You got to admit those flames look pretty good there on William Byron.
He lit them up too, brother. What? Does anybody else have flames on their uniform? Not that I've seen.
5 Chevrolets pace qualifying for the Great American Race. Joey Logano, the fastest Ford, in 6th. Martin Truex, the quickest Toyota, in 7th today. Coming up next on Fox, the Westminster Agility Competition. Well, you'll see these cars over on FS1 as NASCAR Race Day begins our coverage for the Clash of 2019 at Daytona. Chevy's fastest on Sunday. Who'll be quick on Thursday?
I think the Chevys are still going to be fast, but look out for those Fords right behind them.
Yeah, I think Logano, Keselowski, I think even Ryan Blaney, I think the Fords are going to be really tough. But also like Martin Truex Jr. and Cole Pearn, they always find a way.
So the field is set for Thursday's duel at Daytona to determine the starting lineup for next Sunday's 61st running of the Great American Race.
Not much here, except the usual.
What if we spice things up a bit? Alexa.
What if we turn it up a notch? What if we go off the map?
The all-new RAV4. Toyota, let's go places.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
From the greatest city in the world comes the greatest competition of its kind. Look at that.
A lot of top dogs out there.
Look at this run. The Masters Agility Championship at Westminster. Today at 2 Eastern on Fox. Sponsored by Purina Pro Plan.
I need gas, gotta make it fast. I'll grab a bite here to save time. What do I want? Ooh, haven't had one of those